Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we are demonstrating the use of a stencil in making a scenery or scenic design in our stenciling technique of 12 crafts of card making. For this project, we need a masking tape. We need paint brushes, can be flat, round or fan, depending on which one you desire to use or the effect you desire to achieve. These paint brushes, they are from Lidl and the brand is Crelando. Cost about £2.99 to £4.99. You need palette plates or just a flat plate where you can mix your colors. We need baby wipes because you're going to clean between stencil application. Need watercolor. This is still by Lidl Crelando. I think it costs about £1.99 to £2.99 to £2.99. So we need sponge. You can use kitchen sponge, but this is makeup foundation application sponge. You can use any one you have, just a foam. We need copier paper to protect our work protect our card while we work. We need card. This 300 grams 8-inch card. You can, if you don't want a scallop, that's fine, you can trim them off. So I've already printed my logo at the back of this. That's landscape, okay. You can use any size you desire. And we need a stencil. This is a flat craft stencil. This is a flat design. And the product number is 31477. We're using two stencils. The flat design, which we use for the scenic effect, and then we use this flora and fauna stencil. The product number is WM 30730E. So let's start. For our project, to start our project, you just place the copier paper on and place the card landscape wise. If you desire to trim the scallop, if you don't like this, if you have a scallop card and you don't like it, I just got my paper trimmer. The only thing is that the card size will now be reduced. So we've trimmed it. If you don't like scallop, you can take them off. So we have a nice edge now. Work with that. I'll leave this third. I'll just leave the other one, the other scallop. So place our card, okay, with the logo. Okay, that's going to be landscape wise. So place our card on the copier paper. With the masking tape, then we'll place a flat design stencil. We're going to use the stencil. The stencil is going to act as a window for us. Let's say an architectural style window. Then we'll place make sure you cover the edge of the card. We don't want the card to get stained while we are painting. So stencil is flat, edges of the card covered. Start mixing the colors. Color palette, I'm going to put the indigo blue first to one side. And then put a light blue. Then I'll put white close to it. I'm going to use that for the clouds, the atmosphere, and the atmosphere. So taking the sponge, just going to dip it into the indigo blue. We use it for the top. And in a swirling motion, if you don't have foams, you can use a makeup blending brushes. You can use that too. Now I'm going to take a little of the blue, the light blue, and then blend it. I'm not using water because I don't want my card to be wet. I'm going to we're going to paint layer by layer on the card, and I don't want to wait too long for them to dry. Take a little of the white and a little of the blue, just mix them and I'll just go as the horizon fade into the horizon. So with the fan brush, I'll just take a little fan brush, tap it into the white, and I'll just tap to make some flocus. Just tapping to make some cirrus clouds. We just want strokes of cloud strokes there. Little white. Then if you want a much denser effect, we just mix the blue and the white together a little. Then you can swirl in some. Need more white. Taking the white, just pure white, then you can paint some clouds there. Can paint cumulus clouds, those bumpy clouds that are like cotton wool. Depend on any brush you're comfortable with, you can paint whatever you desire to paint. So I've painted that. We'll take the floral stencil. I'm going to allow this painting to dry a little. The painting is drying. I'll just mix the colors that we need for the flowers to paint a floral stencil. I'll mix the colors here, so I don't have to wait too long. Taking orange and yellow, so I'll mix them. Then I'll add a little white for the leaves. Put this one aside here. For the leaves, I'll mix green, 2 different shades of green. Then later I'll mix white and grey. So I'll mix white and grey later on for the, we'll use the dragonfly and we'll use this flower here. Then we can use from the leaves, these leaves here, these other leaves here to make shadow leaves. So like that, I'll just place those leaves there and we'll mix. So taking the 2 shades of green, going to just mix them to one side here because I'm still going to use. I'll take white and add. Light enough. So place the stencil. Remember the plaid stencil that we are using for windows still on the card. We're going to walk over it. It's like looking out of the window. So we are trying to create that kind of scenery or scenic design. So just dab this in. We want to create shadow leaves. Oh, I've not painted the green. I have to paint green at the bottom. So I'll use, the other green. So I put this one aside. And with the brush, I forgot to paint the green. So I'll just take a little of the green here. And in a circular motion, I'm going to paint the grass. Just going to fill it in. Add a little bit of yellow to one side, to another side just add a little bit of yellow just to then add some dark green just to make sure it's not flat color. Just want to create. So we've painted that. Can continue painting. So place the stencil again and use dark shade green. Dab it. Sorry, it's not properly dried, so just place it. So I've just randomly painted some leaves in the air there. Going to wipe dries, I'll wipe the stencil. And go over the stencil with a dry towel, with a dry paper towel, so that it's not moist. We don't want the colors running. Place the stencil again here. And I'm gonna mix the red and yellow together. Should have just mixed them there. Let's mix that. Add a little white. And then I'll paint only the flowers. Just dab into it to paint them. For the leaves, I'll use dark green. Because they are closer to me. Then the stem, I'll use the dark green and I'll highlight it with a lighter shade. With a thin head brush, I'm just going to, you can use a liner brush, I'm going to just dab a little bit of white to create a reflection on the coral color or orange color that we painted. Lift the stencil. I'm going to paint a dragonfly. So let me wipe the paint from the stencil. So to paint our dragonfly, we'll mix black and white. Since it's a little that we need there, I'm just going to mix it to one side. Just going to mix it a bit to here. I'm just going to mix it. We've painted our scenery. We're going to remove the masking tape. Can allow it to dry first before we remove the masking tape, but we can still remove the masking tape. You have to be careful to make sure you don't leave the stencil because we're going to paint the border of this of the card. So I'm going to carefully remove the masking tape. Place your finger to make sure that the stencil is still in place. Then, if you feel you're going to move the stencil, you make a mistake and move the stencil, you can just make a small tab of rolled masking tape and place it under the heavy border of the stencil so that one part is sticking. So I'm going to mix green, blue, and white. So I'm going to mix, I'll just use this green since this side of green. I'll mix indigo blue, add white, add sky blue, and I'll add the dark green. I'll need a flat brush for this, so I'll just mix. I'm using a very large, the largest size of the pack. That's about that's 12. Is that the largest? I'm using a large size, so I'm just going to mix them together. It's too dark. I'm still going to add white because it's a bit dark. So I'm going to add white to it. Now it's too light. I need to add blue. So add a bit of the sky blue. Until I get my desired effect. If you want to use sponge to paint this, you can. You can use brush, you can use sponge, you can spray over it, airbrushing. So I'm just going to paint the edge of the card so that it looks like a wall. Make sure I don't go into our painted design or our scenery. I have to move my stencil. You can use any technique you want to. If you don't want to paint, instead you want to layer, that's fine, you can do that. So I'm going to use the tip of the brush to create some, just to dab into it to create some effect, like a textured wall. And we'll leave it to dry. When our work is dry, we'll take off the stencil and our card will be ready. So we'll just place the work. And we'll leave it to dry. So our design is dried now. Just going to lift the stencil. You have to be careful so that you don't scratch the top. We have a little mark here. So we've taken off the stencil, and if you take a look at it, you can see our tiny dragonfly. Should have used the bigger one, the larger dragonfly. And it's as if you are looking through a window. This is the wall. The teal color is the wall. Then this white border here is as a window pane or the window sill. And we have the bars. So if you're looking into our garden. So just take it off and place it. Here's our scenic design. Thanks for joining me for this video of demonstrating a scenery or scenic design for our 12 crafts of card making, the technique of stenciling. You can visit the blog anino.ogunjobi.com to see what's happening in the crafting industry. Until then, happy crafting, happy designing, and bye for now. Thank you once more.